It is time.
All right, well, let's get into this last one we're doing tonight. We're going to check out some more Queen. They had a great concert at Live Aid, which was, kind of the basis of the movie that came out too. Had some great shots from that as well. They reenacted some of it. This was released in 1985. Queen doing Radio Gaga, which is a song written by the drummer Roger Taylor. He wrote it, and when it charted, all four members of the group had written at least one top 10 hit, either in the U.S. or U.K. at that point. Which is pretty impressive. Roger Taylor wrote the song as a critique of radio stations, which now that we've seen, because they're almost all like that now, started back then becoming commercialized and playing the same songs over and over again instead of being like the old format where the DJs would kind of play what they wanted to play. So you got a different take on everything, which I always thought was a very cool way to do it, so that more and more music got out into the atmosphere. So let's go check it out. It's Queen from Live Aid in 1985. It's a Radio Gaga, and we're checking it out here on Galaxy Jams Reacts. That's one of the best front ends ever. Look at that crowd.
Wild.
And they're all partying too. They're not just swaying around.
Oh yeah, get it.
We watch the shows, we watch the stars on videos for hours and hours. We hardly need to use our ears. How music changes through the years. Let's hope you never leave our friend like all good things.
I feel like I'm like watching the greatest shit right now.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
This is a sermon right now.
Like, holy fuck. Take me, dude. Just take me. The more I watch Queen, the more Brian May is just like, he's probably getting close to my favorite guitar player of all time.
Hell yeah.
Just because he looks so cool.
Love that.
And he knows how cool he looks, and I think he has the hair even now.
They all
yeah.
are cool. They're all so cool.
I feel like we're watching a sermon, and we've watched some absolutely brilliant like virtuosos on this show, and we've said before it's like sometimes you're seeing straight to their heart, like straight through them to like their most center of who they are while they're performing. Freddie Mercury here is, for me, is different. It's almost like he's channeling something from above and it's passing straight through him into us. Like it's not even him, it's just something greater and some platonic form of this song that exists in the ether space somewhere. It's really kind of a cool experience.
Right.
Yes, I totally agree. This song also just like really personally resonates with me. And all of us in the room, we're all musicians. We've all been on the road. We've all toured. We've all done radio stuff, radio interview. And I like, oh my gosh, so much to say on this topic. So I'll try to be concise, but that's like one of the most frustrating elements of being an artist, I think, is when you suddenly realize you kind of have to play this radio game, and it's you realize it's kind of rigged. Not kind of, it is rigged. I mean, especially these days where major labels own radio, completely 100% own major radio. If you're an independent artist with a really good song that a DJ wants to play, they can't play it because they're owned by the label. They're, they have contracts, and
It didn't used to be like that, right, EJ? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it was pretty much freeform. Like you listen to what the DJ wanted you to listen to. That was the back in, especially a little bit pre this, definitely.
Yeah, and I think so. This is also definitely in the States. Internationally, I know it's different. For instance, like my band Calamity Jane, we get played a lot in Australia. We've actually had some pretty decent radio play in the UK on some really big stations.
Yeah.
And that, that's a perfect example of the difference in these systems where, those DJs overseas, they just liked our music. So they played us. And then we got local fan bases like all the way across the world. Whereas in the States, like, have we ever been played on major radio? No, we've been stuck on these little community radio stations where, luckily those guys have a little bit more autonomy. But all that to say, I totally, just Adam, what you were saying about channeling, like sort of the spiritual like feeling from above. I completely resonate with what they're talking about in this song, and it almost feels like they're trying to convey to like, hey, this is something we're all involved in. Like listeners as well, kind of participate in this system, unwittingly. They don't, they can't control what's being played on radio either. But I think it's almost like, hey guys, just so you know, you're being fed this curated list that might not even be what you want to hear. So we're all kind of in this together.
Yeah, and when I look at this, I look at it's like a church and it's a preacher and looking at the followers. I don't know if you guys watched that video. It's like another video from Live Aid where it's like every single beat you can see it rippling throughout the crowd because of how in tune everybody's in it, right? And it's like watching them play and doing this performance, it's like something like profound and something, like you said, spiritual, and it's not, to me, it's like transcending more than like a song and a band, and it's like something that people need, like connection. It's like a basic, fundamental human thing that they're delivering for the people and the people are delivering for them. It's like, I'm watching this, like them just own this whole arena that's like focused on one thing. It's
and that's heart and power right there.
Crazy, dude. Because I don't know about you guys. Like, I'll go to shows and it's like a sold out show, and half the people are just like, nodding,
hanging out at the bar,
looking at their phone, and they're not. Some people maybe little pockets of people jumping up and down. You know what I mean? But it's. Go on, EJ.
It would be phenomenal to have experienced that live. I was watching it on television when it happened, but I do remember that being amazing, and just seeing the size of that crowd and the way that he's commanding the crowd, and the way that they're just they're just rock gods, and everybody there is into exactly what they're saying. They're doing all the hand claps, they're doing all the motions with them, they're singing along.
They're all there.
Yeah, you can see it in the crowd, like everybody's singing that song, and what a great moment that must have been, and a great feeling that must have been for them, to look out over that mass of humanity that's all there for them.
When I watch this video, all I see is like power and then like a generator, like generating power, like, and the people on the stage are like directing and like harnessing and conducting like this power generation, because I think that's what's going on, right? It's like the transfer of energy, like when you go to see a live show. And I've heard this more than once, right? And I'm gonna get flamed in the comments for this, but I heard that there was an operation where organizations would go to very, very, very large concert festival events and try and find how they can like harness the energy that's being, like generated from, these live performances, in a way that, can be calculated or used in some way, or, because it's the same thing like when you go to church and you're in a huge church and everyone's feeling it. Like, what are you feeling? Like feeling the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? Like, what are you feeling? Like when I go to see my favorite show and I see my favorite guitar player, like I feel like I'm being totally healed. You know what I mean? Totally something is going on here. And, whether you're feeling it through church or you're feeling it through Queen or you're feeling it, through like however you want to get there, I feel like there's something more than just a rock concert going on here.
I mean, it's one of the clearest straight lines of the power, the physical footprint an idea can leave on people and on a life. And that's, I think that's why so many of us are involved in music or play music, is like, it's a powerful thing to see one of your crazy crackpot ideas, like really reach somebody, and sometimes a lot of people in a really profound way, and like make their lives better. Or when someone comes up to you and they say, I listened to you guys through high school, and like that got me through. Like like I've had at least one or two people reach out to me and be like, y'all prevented me from killing myself because you tweeted and said, hey, are you coming out to the show tonight? And then I had an amazing time. And like, how do you even respond to that? Like, turning negative feelings into like positive lyrics, or a negative state of mind, or people that are struggling with substance abuse or whatever, these artists that generate ideas that leave a real footprint on human beings. Like that's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too, just the irony of how this song is kind of making fun of what radio has done to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that word gaga, like it's just supposed to kind of sound ridiculous, like it's all just like white noise.
Mm-hmm.
But then the irony is that when you take away the radio and you have this live performance, there's like this electric spiritual experience that everyone gets to have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
It's
it was
crazy.
a show-stealing performance back then. I think there was like 72,000 people like clapping in unison for his, for the song. It's insane. Also, just a little tidbit of information I remember right now. Lady Gaga got her name from the song. So there you go.
I
Yeah,
saw
that's
that
what
too. That's
Ford's
awesome.
Know there in the chat said. That's the
Yeah.
source of Lady Gaga's
Oh, I
name.
didn't see that. Okay,
There you
cool.
go. That's a powerful nod there.
That
All
is.
Let's get back into this greatness.
All we hear is Radio Gaga. Radio
Look at that.
Radio Gaga. All we hear is Radio
How do they all know when to clap then?
Radio Gaga. All we hear is
Yeah, it's like a church.
It looks choreographed.
If anyone doesn't believe that music brings people together, you just show them this YouTube video.
Wow.
I bet the crowd
Powerful
screaming must have been like the most like it must have been like the highest decibel shit.
Definitely.
You would never forget that if that was you up on stage. You'd
Because-
never forget it.
No.
When I go to see like big concerts like that, the audience screaming's like louder than the band. Like that
Oh,
hurts
yeah.
more. Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.